like KZN, Free State, Gauteng, all regions, all the necessary disputes are resolved through the branch, the region, the province, and when people are not happy, they have approached the National Disciplinary Resolution Committee. And we have integrated in our constitution the National Dispute Resolution Committee so that people must exhaust all issues internally. And that's what we have done, because that was once a court ruling that people must be given a chance to exhaust disputes internally. And the National Dispute Resolution Committee is dealing with all those matters which have been raised by members. And they have successfully done so in Herigwala, in Lower South Coast. There are no more issues. In Limpopo, yes, there were some people who were intended to interdict in the conference, and they have been engaged, and whatever the team of Comrade Toko Didiza and the province and some NEC members are there to deal with whatever challenges, but Limpopo is ready.
The ANC says it's all systems go for the Limpopo Provincial Conference. Disgruntled members in that province agree that there'll be a conference, but they say it'll take place in a court of law. Now, has the ANC leadership taken an ostrich approach to the reality of democracy dying inside the party? Or are they not given credit for what they are, in fact, doing? My name is Vuyo Mvoko, and this is our nightly look at South Africa under the Ramaphosa administration. This is As It Happens. Well, my guest tonight on As It Happens is ANC Spokesperson Pule Mabe. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much for coming through.
No, evening, Vuyo, and evening to your viewers at home.
Well, I'm sure you have seen some of the responses to the appointment of the Premier, or your Premier designate, in the Northwest, ranging from people saying, why would you elect someone? I'm not an ageist by any means, but I'm just talking about things that people have been raising, that why would you go for someone that old? Why would you go for someone who has been there before? And why did you go for him?
Well, Vuyo, one of the things that we need to attend to is to ask ourselves, what are the things that need to be done in the Northwest now? Now, you would know that when the interministerial committee was appointed, headed by Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, one of the things that it had to do was to stabilize the administration, make sure that that stability allows for the equitable distribution of basic services to the masses of our people in that province. So what this meant is that following the appointment of the resignation of the Premier, one of the things that you needed to do was to make sure that when you bring in a Premier-elect or a Premier designate, you also bring in someone who has got a strong administrative background. Now, so that over the next few months, through which that person would be presiding over the province, what they are able to do is to create stability and assure our people that in the Northwest, they've got a government that works and works for them. Now, Professor Mokgoro brings in that experience. You would know that in the current administration, you would have served as a head of the Provincial School of Governance, but also has been a Director General since 1994. So you need the kind of experience that he has acquired over time. I mean, he is by academia a professor himself, an honorary, he also holds an honorary doctorate from the United States, so, and has served in various other capacities. So the ANC is sure that with the decision that it has made through its National Working Committee, having acted upon what the province has presented before it, it will be able to stabilize. Because what is important is to create stability. Because stable conditions allow for the distribution of services much more harmoniously, untempered. But also you wanted to make sure that you do not, in drawing in a person, you try and avoid the politics as much as you can, so that you can get your ANC structures in the province focused at the task on the task at hand. For instance, Professor Mvoko is not someone that will want to contest a position in the ANC tomorrow. You know, he's a stalwart and understand that the work that needs to be done has got to do with stabilizing the administration in that province, a point that our Secretary General emphasized, but also a point that when the National Working Committee considered this point, it also had to look at those. I mean, he has got quite an extensive resume, which has now been posted on our own online platforms to make sure that the people of South Africa can have a fair opportunity to see that the decision that has been taken by the ANC is guided by conditions as they present themselves in that province.
But you can't say for sure that he won't contest a position in future. You cannot say for sure that he won't be drawn into all the factionalism that we have seen across the country as far as the ANC concerned. I mean, how many people have been either in exile or on Robben Island who have actually come to be disappointments?
But Vuyo, look, you can hold us on this one. I mean, he's around. Let us allow the formalities to be processed, because I'm sure that even yourselves here on the mass media platforms, I mean, you will also have an opportunity to engage with him. You will have your own experience of what we are talking about. So we are not necessarily imposing on yourselves and saying, I mean, it's a wait and see. But I can assure you that he has got his heart in the right place as it relates to administration. I mean, if you saw a statement that was issued by, was it NAFCOC in that province, welcoming the appointment, they began talking about his extensive experience over time. I mean, we're talking about someone who was a Director General in 1994. I mean, he had to bring together 3 administrations under the Northwest administration to ultimately establish what is now known as the Northwest Province. I mean, he had to manage, amongst others, a budget of 7 billion rand at that time.
Maybe then let's put Professor Mvoko aside here for a second, and maybe talk about what many pundits, analysts believe is probably what is wrong with what the ANC has been doing, whether it's in the Northwest, whether it's in Limpopo, whether it's in the Eastern Cape, whether it's in the Free State. The ANC deploys NEC members to all these provinces.
Yes.
Fact-finding mission, or people who are working with the provinces to try and rebuild the ANC, bring stability, and deal with these crises that we have had virtually in every province right now. But what is clear is that these people aren't able to do what they are supposed to do. Take the Northwest. Why couldn't you implement the Babela report, for example?
Well, I wouldn't know which report you are referring to, because where we are now is that the leadership of the National Executive Committee is seized with matters that have got to do with stabilizing that province and making sure that you make sure that all your regions are functional, optimally focused on governance. The fact that when there were issues in the province, the president went there together with NEC, NWC members to go and make sure that we could have an engagement with our structures in that part of the country, understand what could be at the center of the issues, begin working with everyone to solicit a solution. So there's never been inaction on our part as it relates to what needs to happen in the immediate.
Well, you've gone against, I mean, the recommendations of the people that you have entrusted with those responsibilities. Let's take the Eastern Cape, where the Ndebele report says, disband the PEC, create a provincial task team. That has been rejected.
Well, I wouldn't want us to get into those, because what I can tell you is that there is, before the National Executive Committee, a decision that has been conveyed as it relates to the Eastern Cape, where we said that our officials, this includes President Ramaphosa, Deputy President Didi Mabuza, Secretary General Ace Makashule, Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte, National Chairperson Gwede Mandashe, and our Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, will in the shortest space of time go to that province, meet with the PEC, including those of our members who would have raised challenges, so that they begin working on what would ultimately bring about harmony in the province, but assure all of our members that the ANC belongs to them. One of the things that you find as a distinguishing factor in the African National Congress is our ability to also rise and extend a hand to those comrades that will have raised challenges, whether it's in a court of law or it's directly within structures. This is not found in many other organizations. We are doing this because we believe that each one of our members must be accorded an opportunity to be listened to, and we must use every available means at our disposal to facilitate resolutions to problems.
But isn't that the point of having, that structure led by Sbu Ndebele, or in the Eastern Cape, or Ebapela in the North? Isn't that the point of it all? But then what you then do as the national leadership is to actually go against what the structures you had created and sent to get all the information and make recommendations. You go against them,
well,
that is where the absurdity is. What's the point of creating these structures? Give them the mandates that you give them, only to go against what they then put before you.
Well, but Vuyo, what we will do is that you will understand that we are a political formation. So when reports or recommendations or whatever they could be are put forward before the leadership, those are processed. And when the leadership of the ANC acts, it always acts in the interest of its membership and make sure that it does so to ultimately facilitate the fair participation of our members in structures. Because at the core of the issues that get to be raised, they would have to do with people making sure that there is no gatekeeping. Our structures are open enough to allow everyone to participate regardless of their preferences and all of that. So it wouldn't be fair to put before us that there seem to be ignorance or inaction. The fact that the national leadership is going there, that alone is a demonstration on our part to make sure that working with those that would have raised concerns, we also facilitate a resolution to their own challenges. So a leadership does this because it listens to its own cadres. It attends to recommendations as they come forward, because one of the things that would come forward is that make sure that these comrades who would have raised these concerns are also listened to, work towards finding a solution and one that moves the organization forward. Now, when you process these issues, you're also able to say, have we provided or created sufficient grounds to make sure that our comrades could be able to work together? And there's one. You will know that the people of South Africa demonstrate greater confidence in the African National Congress when they see us working together in unison. That's what the people of South Africa want. Because when the ANC is united, the ability of delivering services unhindered is also emboldened. It happens with great speed.
Okay. We'll have more with Pule Mabe when we continue after this short ad break. This is As It Happens.